Well, it's been a really personal journey, Peter. A wonderful, really a quite a difficult journey in parts. Of course, when Matthew was born, there was the whole period of answering the question why. Why should it happen to me as a parent? Why should it happen to me as a Christian? And I can remember going back and really rereading Job and remembering that actually he never got the answer. But all he began to understand was that God was love and God was there for him. And really, I think that's been one of the things that we've had to focus on, or I've had to focus on as a father. Matthew's given us a lot of pleasure. He's brought us to this ministry. You know, sometimes you don't want to enter ministries, you almost kick against them. But I think Matthew really brought us to focus on this ministry, and it's a ministry that we personally have been blessed. I've been personally blessed for having entered into, for having seen what our church could be if we really embrace this ministry in the way that it should be embraced. But it's brought out something special, really special in me as a person. There can be no doubt that it's changed me as a person. I've had to come through a journey of not being so self-centered, not being so introspective, and look at the bigger picture. So Matthew has taught us to not just look at our present circumstances, but to look at what could be possible. What could be possible for us as a family if we were not just to look at this as a disability, but an opportunity to reach out to others, to embrace others. And he's taught me something about very simple things about patience. You know, Matthew wakes up in the morning and he waits for his needs to be met. He doesn't want big presents at Christmas. All he wants, you sit by him and you sing him a song, you give him a cuddle, you put your arms around him. What he wants is you. And he reminds me about the basic things that humanity needs, and that's people who love, who care, and who really feel for them. And if he's taught me nothing else, he's taught me the importance of not having fancy cars and titles and houses, but of having people around you who really care and love for you. And that's what Matthew's taught me. I'm really encouraged by the work that we have achieved. It's 10 years and we are really celebrating 10 years of beginning to tell the church about the enrichment that can come when you include everybody into the church. Sometimes it's disruptive. Matthew in our church is sometimes disruptive. He makes noise just at the wrong time. But what it's meant is that we've got the children involved in sharing his journey and his time, and there's a result. I can see there's a result have been able, when they see other young people who are different, they don't stare. For them it's normal. They are part of the church, and if we do nothing else, it's to remind ourselves and to get the church to understand that everybody needs to know who Jesus is. Everybody needs to be included in his community. And one of the texts that we always go back to is the one in 1 Corinthians 12, where it talks about the body and how we're all one body and how we're given different parts, and not one part can say I'm better or more useful than the other. And I think the journey of ASNA is about reminding the church that there are so many people whose gifts we haven't even begun to tap. The gift of simplicity, the gift of simple worship, the gift of praise, despite or because of their disability. Well, it's a fantastic hope, actually, of really a vision of how the church is, of how our church and other churches can become much more encouraged to just embrace the change of saying, we want you. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter the colour of your skin, it doesn't matter whether you're disabled or able. We want you because we know that you are created in God's image, God loves you, and that He wants to heal you. It may not be, I've begun to recognise that there's a difference between cure and healing. And for me, Matthew may never be cured, he may never be restored, his sight may never be restored here, but what I want him to have is healing, the peace and serenity that comes from knowing that God has touched you and healed your heart and your soul, and you're part of his community.